Okay, we will get started here in just a minute. Just making sure I've got everything set up here. Go. We're gonna get started here in just a minute. Hope everyone's doing well. I am just getting set up post-weekend, and I'm running a little bit slow. Okay, here we go. That should be good. So I think we will go ahead and get started. And we can start with the fact that my desk is a nightmare. I have not cleaned up. So we are going to start today by actually cleaning and chatting a little bit about the market. So yeah, so bear with me a little bit. I'm mostly just going to focus on cleaning this stuff off, getting some things opened, some other things put away. Stuff that I just didn't do before the market actually began, and now I really want to kind of reset everything. It's kind of how my brain works. When I'm in the middle of a crunch mode, I often work like this, where I make my workspace a pretty atrocious mess because I know where stuff is, I'm actively working, but then after that I usually need a little bit of time to reset and set things where I want them to be, make sure everything's back in its place. So that's what we're going to be doing here for a few minutes. Hope everyone is okay with that, and hope everyone is doing okay and had a good weekend. The market went really, really well. I'm very pleased with it. Made some good sales. Had a good time for the most part. It's a little warm. It's actually warmer today. So bear with me if I'm moving a little slow, or if we wind up cutting a little bit early today. We'll see how long the weather is going to let me last before I get sweatshopped out of this room. I'm going to take some time, throw away some trash, put things back where they belong. And I think what I'm going to do for this, so y'all can see this a little bit better, see the huge mess that is just my entire space here. But let's go. Let's see here. Let's put y'all down on that. And yeah, we're just gonna straighten things up and chat. Some little addendums or things to note. There is another new command, although people are not going to be able to utilize it unless they're a VIP. It's really nothing super special. It just starts a prediction and is the same thing as our old scan, but I thought it might be fun to try things out. And I like to see kind of like, what can I actually do with my stream bot, and can I like figure out new things? And so that's what this was. Oh my gosh, there's so much shit. Okay, I'm missing one needle. There's my other needle. There you are. Throw our patterns over here. We got a few things to do today. Mostly we're going to start with this kind of cleanup. But we're going to kind of quickly work over to our other stuff for the day, which is going to be doing some finishing work on some projects I didn't quite finish before the market. And those are, let me pull my little to-do list back up. We're going to work on the paddle key fobs, which I didn't finish. We got close, but ran out of time. So you'll see that I've got 3 of these little guys. We made 6. We finished 3 of them. Didn't quite finish the last 3. So we are going to finish stitching up the last of these. And that should be the last bit of that part. Then we're going to actually work on some of the other stuff that we haven't done for a while. I still really want to tackle this D20, so we are going to try to do that today. I've been saying that a lot, and I actually intend to do it this time. So we will work on that. We might work on a couple of these patches, because we have a few more that we didn't finish I'm not sure I'm going to paint them just yet because I actually have something I want to try. I have a different type of adhesion that I want to do with these. So if you know my patches in the past, we have done a number of different projects or different patchwork, and I do sew on, but I also will do iron on patches. And this time, I want to try out. Gosh, I can't think tonight. It's like I'm working and doing other things at the same time. I want to try doing Velcro. So I have a roll of Velcro that I ordered and got a good deal on, and we're going to try to cut that down to size. We're going to try stitching it onto the back of the patch because I mainly want it to be another option, but I also mainly want it because I was thinking about like my pronoun patches, and they're great. I love the pronoun patches, but they also don't pronouns change. That's what I'm trying to say. Pronouns change, and sometimes people want to change their pronouns, and the idea of having that sewn in where it's going to be really difficult to change it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. I want people to have that freedom. Hi there. Hi, Luna. Hope you're doing well. Welcome on in. I am doing a little bit of cleanup because this market last week or this past weekend was a great time, but it was also frantic. And I now am just trying to play catch up on some stuff. So welcome on in. Thank you for hanging out. I'm just kind of talking about some of the things that I want to do, a lot of what we have here, as I'm kind of laying things out and cleaning things up, putting things back where they belong. We're just kind of chatting and talking about the market. Once we're all cleaned up, we will work on some of our actual leather projects tonight, because I do have a few to work on. Now, of course, the game is there's a lot of stuff, and I did not clean up before I left the market, which means I am paying for that right now by having to clean up, and that's never fun. I usually try to clean up before stream, but it is what it is. Just didn't have time this time. It's all good. Did you go pick up one of your meds and finish cleaning the desk? Oh, awesome. Well, thank you for stopping by and hanging out. Hopefully I can be a good body double for the cleaning your desk side of things. And I hope your stream goes really well tonight. So let's see. We probably don't need those for now. Let's put our Chicago screws back. If y'all are curious, let's do this. I'm working over here on this side of things. Come on. Maybe. There we go. You can see the mess that is the side of my desk. This is the part of this is the side of things that you don't really see often because it's usually not in frame. But like I said, it's atrocious. We are just gonna kind of clean that up tonight. So it's fun. We had the market this weekend. It went really well. And then like this morning, I'm like, all right, I can kind of relax. I can kind of just work on some other smaller projects now. You know, work on my own stuff. I don't have any markets to prep for. You know, I do, but they're like a month out. And then, of course, I get a message that one of the bigger markets in Seattle has just opened up signups. It's one of the ones I've done in the past. It's been very successful for me. So I really want to be a part of it. And I'm like, great, now I need to prep for that. I checked the dates, and it is 2 days after the market that I'm currently signed up for here in Portland. Which isn't itself a problem. there's nothing wrong with that, naturally. Like, there's not a timing issue. Like, y'all, what it does mean is I have no turnaround time to restock, which means if I do it, which I am very much still thinking and considering doing, I have to be prepped and stocked to potentially run 2 markets back to back. Now, obviously, it's not like I have to make double the equipment, double the things, but it does mean that I need to have enough that even if I sell really well at one, I have enough for the second one. And that's kind of my bigger concern at the moment is, will I have enough stuff for both markets? Realistically, I will. If y'all don't follow me on Blue Sky or didn't see me post, I did about 12, maybe 13 hours of work yesterday completely revamping my inventory system for my website and for all of my stock, for all of my leather. And that was exhausting. I should have just done all of that stocks in the inventory a long time ago before I had inventory. However, it was good, it was needed, and as a result, I now have a better idea. I actually have a full idea of just how much I have in stock for future markets, which is really great for me kind of planning, like, oh, what's my max that I can sell, and what's my averages. But it does also mean that, like, I have a better idea for a situation like this where I have 2 potential markets coming up. I suddenly have the means to say, do I have enough stock naturally that I could feasibly do both markets? And I'm pretty pleased to say that I think I could. It's kind of going to become a game of looking at what items sell best typically, what sell worst or don't sell all that often, and then kind of balance it, because I'll probably need to pick the items that sell really well at the several markets I've done in the past, and I'll need to prioritize those. I have a number of things that didn't sell well at this past market, which just happens. It's just something that happens for markets. You kind of have stuff that's like, oh, this sold like, hotcakes, and we want to restock immediately, versus, oh, these items, may have sold a couple of things, but they weren't super interesting to the people who attended, and I can sit with just what stock that I have and focus on other items of importance. I'll flip that back around. So that's kind of the game that I'm playing right now, is trying to figure out, hey, what's the important stock to replace from this most recent market, and what's going to be less important, maybe things that I look at replacing, but only after I have done everything else and have stocked up on everything else that I want to make. And that's kind of where I'm at in the process of, like, do I do this new market, or this second market rather? I think I want to. I would like to make it happen if I can. I just also want to be cautious about overexerting myself. I do still have custom orders that need to get done, so I need to take that time into consideration. But I also need to remember that I get a lot of sales at markets, and where I might get a couple of orders just online, a couple custom pieces, I also get a bunch more sales when I go to a market in person. So there's always a balance. It's always the challenge or the frustration of business management on small business sides. But I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to kind of figuring this process out and making things happen. Okay. So here's this side of the table is mostly clean. We will open this up. Hi Nova, how are you doing? Got some new goodies to play with here in just a little bit. Not sure we'll get to all of these today, but most of them are for the dragon scale collar and cuff set we're working on. We finally have some nice turquoise leather dye that we might do a test on today, just to see how it works, see what that kind of color comes out as. So that's exciting. And let's see, where's my other bit? We got some antique finish, both in neutral and in a medium brown here. The neutral is what I'm really excited about because I can dye the neutral to other colors, and that'll be fun. You're tired? It's been a hot day. It is actually really hot right now. I am not sure how long I'm going to go tonight. We're going to play the game of can Birdie survive the heat in the upstairs workroom that doesn't have AC. And I will not be surprised if that answer is yes, but only for a shorter time. Right now, we're just kind of cleaning up. The market this weekend kind of left me super disorganized, and I have not necessarily had the energy to do all of the cleanup from the market until now. And if I want to do good leather work, I'm at a point where it's like, it's messy enough, I need to clean this desk before I can focus on actually making something. So that's what we're doing right now. Pulling all the trash out, everything that's just kind of like I've shoved to the side because I was in that frantic market push. I'm now kind of organizing and straightening up. Let's see, some buckles away. I do have some new products I'm hoping to try to make already. That is something that's been on my list for this upcoming market. It's just kind of a matter of when I have the time and the energy and the capacity to do it. I still need to work on finishing harnesses, which is something that is been a slow process. But I really want to get designed. Another one that I would like to, because we're doing the Freaky Geeky Market next. That'll be in mid-August. And so the next thing I really want to do is get maybe get like dice trays done. I'm not sure if that would be good. I know it's a pretty common leather item. I have no idea how well or how often they sell. But I feel like it could be something worth doing. Question just kind of, it should be easy to put together. The question is just like, what kind of designs do I want to go with if I do that? And that's where I'm really like, that's the paralysis I feel, is the choice of design. You know, how do I want to make it look? Okay. And let's just toss away trash and other stuff on this table. Stuff that I know I don't need. There we go. Silver pen up. Ruler. Other stamps. Go ahead and bring y'all back here. Yeah, that'll work right there. At least for now. And just gonna kind of wipe this desk off. I've got little metal shavings and little metal bits for making necklaces and stuff. I want to get those all off, and I want to clean them off in a way that I know is not going to go on the floor where I'm liable to step on them. Okay, that done. should put us in a relatively clean spot. I know the desk doesn't look super clean because it's just stained. We're going to move these over because we're going to grab our sewing machine, because I think the first thing that we're going to do after this is we are going to start sewing our we're going to start sewing those 3 key fobs here and getting that done. So if I can get that done, I can be done with these 3 and work on something else. So let's get my tension right here. There we go. Okay. We are going to bring y'all down just a little bit. How are we looking? Pretty decent there. So these key fobs have turned out really, really cute. I really like them. They're on painter's tape right now, which I found just kind of helps keep the bottom foot of the sewing machine from digging in. So it's just kind of a protectionary process. I can't speak today, y'all. I'm sorry. But yeah, so we are just going to kind of get these in place, and we're just going to kind of give these a quick sew. Make sure that those 3 are done so I can kind of knock them off my list. These were super popular at the market. Pretty much all 3 of the ones I did finish sold very quickly. So I'm definitely going to be making more of these as I go. Start right about here. Foot down. Go. Wow, sewing is so much less frustrating when it's not, minutes before I need to be done for a market or whatnot. Also, hi Mini Golf, hope you're doing well. Mini Golf, I have some fun news for you. I might have probably jumped the gun a little bit, but I might have ordered some biothane, which is really exciting. I am doing well. I am just very warm right now. It is hot in this room. And, okay, come on, sewing. Come on, machine. I swear, this machine sometimes is it's not the machine, it's actually just the way the thread is held is sometimes the worst. We're gonna try that. Ah, I'm being scanned. What are we today? Uh-oh. I'm quieter than the music? Alright. I will fix that. Well, looks like I'm somewhere between Majestic Raptor and Scrungly Seagull. That's a good place to be, I'd say. I'd say that's a pretty decent place to be. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. Let me turn this audio up just a little bit. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Is this a little bit better now? Can y'all hear me a little bit better now? Good. If there's any other audio issues, please let me know. Always happy to fix them. I want y'all to be able to hear and participate. Speaking of getting scanned, seagulls are pretty cute. The babies are very cute. And then they get gangly and weird, and I love them. Speaking of burb scan, there is a new command out there that is specifically for VIPs, or my very important burbs. and it is another type of scan that works the exact same way as the existing one, but it comes with a channel point prediction. So if we ever get a VIB again, if people get some 100% burbs, we can give that a try. And then y'all can actually bet some channel points and maybe get a bunch more. I just thought it might be a little bit fun, and I like testing and seeing how I can improve things on the stream. Slash, I didn't want to do any other real work this morning, so I was like, let's make something ridiculous instead. Alright, coming up on the corner here. Yeah, safe gambling. I'm a big fan of safe gambling. Let's see, I want you a little bit further, if I can get you right in the corner. Right. Yeah, right there. There we go. I really like these new key fob designs. I can actually stitch them with the machine instead of having to hand stitch them like the old round designs. Plus, I think the paddles are just really cute. I should definitely think of a replacement that's not a paddle, so I can have key fobs that aren't just kink oriented. However, for now, these are just fine. Considering the next few markets I'm going to go to are probably going to be some semblance of kink related, I'm not super worried. Go. Alright, just a couple more stitches here. And these pieces will be done. Honestly, the hardest part about stitching these up is just getting that painter's tape off the back. Because I'm stitching through it, little bits of painter's tape like to get stuck under the thread. And I have to like weed them out with my tweezers. So that's not the most fun in the world, but it's perfectly manageable. It was less manageable on Saturday morning when I had like, oh, what was it? Like 30 minutes before I needed to, like, I had given myself a deadline to be completely done with stuff. That's when I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna finish these. But I did. We made it. Alright, that's the back stitch. There we go. Yeah, I think those look really cute. I really like the painted red ones. Those are probably my favorites, and they definitely are the ones that kind of sold. That one sold immediately. Like the moment I put it out and the market opened, the finished version of this one sold like just like the first person who came by. So I know those are the most popular. The cutout was the second one to sell, so this one was the second one to sell. People really liked it, got a lot of good compliments for it. And the only one that took longer to sell was the engraved version, which right now is just the Therian emblem. And that's fair. I was kind of trying to figure out how I want this done. This one, I may actually go ahead and paint that little emblem just so people can see it. Since the Therian logo is not really one I can easily fully engrave out, painting's probably the best bet. And I have thought about actually stamping these as well. So like right in here, maybe just a small line of text for someone's name, or something like slut or yowie or yuri or something dumb like that. So that's something that I'm considering as well. And it may work better on the engraved versions just because they'll have more space on one side. But yeah, we will figure that out when we get to them. Right now, though, I just want to get the stitching done. And we will get these 3 done and then probably work on some other stuff. I kind of want to move. I want to get to a point where I'm moving through projects a little more quickly. Where I don't take an entire stream just doing one thing. But sometimes that's just how it happens. You're absolutely right, Mini Golf. We will figure it out together. Let's move that up. Burn that back a little bit. Tuck it underneath. But yeah, Mini Golf. I did pick up some. Why did we get a little knot there? I did pick out, or rather, get some. What you call it? I got biothane. So it's on order. It's coming in. It is the color you and I discussed. Mostly because it's a good color, and I figured even if the order didn't go through or we couldn't do it for whatever reason, I could still make something out of it and just do a little more practice with biothane. Because I also want to get into some stuff that's more, vegan friendly. At least make that an option for what I do. Even if it's not the norm, I'd like to have it as an available piece, Tensions were slightly off here, so I'm just kind of weeding through this until we get to the end here. Find the one that I can pull on. Any of them. There you are. Found it. Pull that a little bit more tight there. There we go. It's already looking a little bit better. What I really need is one of those tiny sets of scissors here. Those really nice like sewing scissors. Not like these. These are great fabric scissors or leather scissors. But I need the little tiny like sewing thread scissors that are very, very small. That would probably be super helpful here. Make sure that that's burned in nicely. You don't want that coming apart. There we go. That's cleaned up. Oh, for sure, Mini Golf. That is super fair too. Yeah, I figure it'll be a good look into, how. Because I've worked with biothane a little bit in the past, but not for any larger projects. So it's going to be a good lesson in how biothane differs from leather and how it's the same. And it'll be fun to make some things that are far more heavy duty. Waterproof will be fun because my leather is pretty durable, but having something that you could wear like a collar or a bracelet.
Well,
or something.
Everybody's heard about the bird.
Oh no.
The bird's the word a well. A bird is the word a well. A bird. Well, a bird is the word a well. A bird. Be bird's the word a well. A bird. Well, a bird is the word a well. A bird. Be bird is the word. Well, everybody knows that the bird is the word.
Oh my gosh. That was incredible. It almost got the tune right for like half of a sentence. Thank you for that, Nova. That was lovely. Alright. Just get the little specks here. That's what I'm talking about. You can see just the tiniest speck of blue right there from the tape. But if I can, excuse you, I can just pick it up. If I can just, okay. If I can just use my fingers to, oh, it is stuck in there. There we go. There we are. Get some of this blue strands out of the way and cleared up. And there. That's one of them almost done. We still got to do the key fob element up at the top, but that's going to be a little bit later. No, that was lovely. No, that was great. Okay. That's one of these down. I'll still probably go through and give the edges a better burnish here, because they could definitely use a little bit of sanding and cleaning up. However, that will be for later. I don't think I'm going to do that today. Right now, I mostly just want to get these stitched so that I can switch out the black thread for my silver thread, so I can actually work on a custom order that I need to get done. All right, let's get this next one in here. Should probably put the foot down. There we go. All right. And we're off to the races on this next one. Try to speed this up for all of us a little bit. I can only move so fast when it is so stinking hot out. It's not that hot either. It's just being upstairs in a room without AC and continuing to forget to move our little AC unit into this room means that I just kind of, I overheat when I'm in here a little too long right now. Go. One more stitch the corner here. Right about there. All right, give that a rotate. We rotate paddles like we rotate sharks. Get rotated, idiot. Damn right. Yeah, actually. That will work. Rotate again. I love it when the stitch lines up perfectly with the corner of whatever I'm working on. It's very satisfying. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, so lessons from the market. No rotate the shark. But we've got to rotate the shark sometimes. Sharks need to be rotated for balance. Lessons from the market. We learned a few different things. One, these paddles are really cute. They sell well. The other less fun one is that the earrings I worked on, those Mountain Dew earrings, did not sell well. Which I'm not honestly that surprised about. My jewelry, my earrings and stuff never really sell all that well at markets. But the reason being is that I think people want leather from me. And I don't always I make the earrings because I think along the lines of hey, I know people can't always afford a, looks like we are out of our bobbin. That's good timing. I know that people can't always afford a full piece of leather kit because that's expensive. So I try to offer things that are a little bit different, that maybe are fun, or maybe not leather, but only cost 10 or 15 bucks, because I want people to be able to support without breaking the bank. And also, I think people sometimes will get something small and then take a good look at whatever else is around and be like, oh, actually, maybe I want something bigger. So that's also a sales tactic there. But yeah, for some reason, my earrings just never sell. They just don't sell well at all. I wish they did. They're on my website, so hopefully they'll sell there. But they don't sell nearly as well at the markets as I would like them to. I finished a couple fun ones that I didn't get to even show y'all on stream. But I have one. I made a couple necklaces too, and one of the necklaces is a potion vial with a depiction of a llama on it, and it is very much Cusco's poison. It is designed to look very similar to that, and it's really cute. And I hope those eventually sell, because I love the joke. They are on my website if you want to see photos of them. I can try to pull one up here in a minute if we really want to, but they're very cute. So I'm using my fingers when I should just be using my little tweezers here. There we go. Those are designed with the snow globe solution. You love oh yeah, the backing card on that one is really fun. It's just the quote from the movie. It's just Kronk's quote. But yeah, the solution inside is just that same snow globe solution with some purple pigment. So it swirls around when it gets shaken or moved. It's very cute. Go. These little bits and pieces of tape out here. Moody, hi! Welcome on in. I hope you are doing well. I'm glad you enjoyed the backings on those too. I got way too giggly making them. And it certainly wasn't because I was designing those labels at 3 in the morning, the night before the market. It might have been that a little bit. Right. Okay, so that's 2 of them done. We got these 2 done. Now, since I did just run out of black thread on my bobbin, I'm going to use that as an excuse to switch gears and jump into sewing up the custom work I need to get done. Rather than, I mean, I say that I'm going to have to thread a new bobbin anyway, because the thread that I'm going to use is a thread I haven't used yet. So, I don't know why I'm sounding all proud like I'm getting out of doing some extra work. But here we are. Okay, let's grab that thread. Should I be able to find it, of course. It's that time of night, y'all. Where's Birdie's stuff? Where did she misplace it to? Who knows? There we are. We are doing a very silver thread. Yeah, it's definitely good for my brain. So my psychiatrist has finally been like, hey, we should definitely get you tested for ADHD. And the more I think about it critically, the more I'm like, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. I haven't thought about it super hard before now, but ADHD would answer a fair number of questions and concerns I've had, things like rejection sensitivity and my desire to pop between tasks and projects super quickly. So yeah, I'm fairly confident we're going to be pretty certain it's ADHD. But I'll let the test decide. Even if it's not, I definitely think I share a lot of traits with it, and that's completely okay. But why does caffeine make me sleepy? It's not so much that it makes me sleepy. It's more for me. It's more that it just doesn't do anything. I drink caffeine and I'm like, oh, okay. Go about my daily business. If I was already tired, I'm still tired. And if I was already wired, I'm still about the same amount of wired. So it's really kind of a catch-22 where caffeine is concerned for me. Okay, get our bobbin here. Move the camera here in just a second, just so y'all can see. There we go. I mean, that would make a lot of sense, and it's also largely makes sense as to why, when I'm really in project mode, I consume caffeine. I can go without caffeine a lot. Like I don't rely on it heavily just to function. But I will say, given the opportunity when I am working on projects, caffeine is my best friend. I do slam back those Dr. Peppers. Alright, let me get my foot pedal set up here. One of these days, I'm going to train myself to actually use the foot pedal as a foot pedal. Can't do it with the leather because the motor's not strong enough. But I'm also just terrified of the motor when it's going full speed. So we'll just use it for bobbin winding. When you go to the game store, when you go into a game store for a painting day, you need a monster just to stay on task. That's fair. Yeah, that's very similar to my functionality. That's why I always have a Dr. Pepper on stream. Because it just helps. All right, Let's try to get this wrapped. There we go. All right. There we go. There. That should be plenty for our project here. Swap out this bobbin here. Perfect. Get that situated in its spot. Just like so. Put our foot motor away. Alright. Oh, also, holy smokes, I saw this just a few hours ago when I logged in to start, getting stuff ready for stream. We hit 100 followers, which is awesome. Thank you so much. I am honestly just so amazed at the support and interest for this sort of stuff that people have shown. I really appreciate it. I'm going to keep doing this as much and as often as I can, within reason. I don't want to kill myself doing, by working too hard or, not taking care of myself. But I want to keep growing this stream. I want to keep growing the community, and I'm really excited to be able to do so. One of the things we're working on this month is our sub goal. We are actually nearly there. I think we have like 6 more subs before we reach it. And if we do, I'm going to be doing a leather giveaway. When we get started, like, the giveaway is probably going to be for like a pair of secret cuffs or something along those lines. However, if we go above the goal, meaning if we get more than the next 6 before the end of the month, the more goals we get, I'm going to add stretch goals, and getting up to a point where hopefully I can do a giveaway for like a full custom collar or something along those lines. I just kind of got to do the math and see where the cost justification is. But I'm hoping to have a few tiers of stretch goal to do that. So there's no need to pay to enter. The sub goal is just for us to actually see if we can have it. But once we have it, once we've unlocked it, the goal is there, and I'll have it set up basically where you can just enter. You don't need to follow, don't need to subscribe or anything. You can just enter on the day of the event. Thank you, Mini Golf. The secret cuffs are really cool. I enjoy making them. I think they look really good. I like a good chunky bracelet though, so that might just be my own preference. But I've had a lot of fun. They were also the first project I ever worked on designing before even starting my business. So they've got a lot of nostalgia for me. They also tend to be pretty popular. People like them. Oh, and the other thing, so this Thursday, we are doing a corset stream. I say that with the caveat of if it's like 100 billion degrees where I'm at, we might put it off. However, ideally, this week is the corset stream, and we are going to do. I'm gonna wear a corset. I have a camera set up so that you can actually see myself, so you'll see me wearing it. So you're not just gonna have to rely on me saying, "Hey, I'm wearing this. Believe me." You'll actually see it. But the cool part is that we are actually going to be working on making a corset. This will be kind of a long, ongoing project. I don't expect to finish it in one day. However, I am hoping to cut out the panels and potentially do some of the tooling to kind of design the corset and make it look really pretty. And I'll be doing that in my corset. The corset I'm making is designed and patterned off of the one that I own. So it should be a really fun stream. I am looking forward to it a lot. Okay. Let's see, we are going to go ahead and do this third one. It's going to be a little bit different. The reason I'm doing this is because I actually want to, the next thing we're going to sew is very similar in weight and design. So I'm using this as a test bed, just to make sure my tensions are still good and that this thread wants to work like it should. So far, looks pretty on the money. Move that forward. Actually rotate y'all back like that. No. I haven't done this one yet. Let's see, what happens? How does this look if we zoom in? Oh yeah, that might work really well. Alright, we're gonna see how the silver thread works and looks. Going on really smooth, and it seems to be walking nicely. This thread, I think, is just a hair thinner than the black thread that we were working with just a minute ago. And I think as a result, it's actually sitting a lot nicer on my machine. Yeah, that stitch looks pretty clean there. Alright, we're going to adjust back here, get this right in that corner where we want it. There we go. Give that another rotate, and away we go. So the black thread we were using is a cheaper thread that I first bought when I started using this machine. And it's a good thread, like it does the job pretty well. But comparatively, the silver that I'm working with right now is a silver that I found on Rocky Mountain Leather Company. So it's a thread designed pretty well for leather, and it is just like a higher quality, like market, or it's a company that specializes in this stuff. So the material just winds up being a little nicer. So I'm not surprised that this is sliding a lot smoother, stitching a lot nicer. And it bodes well for the next few pieces we're going to do. Only downside to these is that these spools are not particularly big. And I don't remember if I can order a larger spool in certain colors. If I can, I really should. Now that I know that this thread works really well. But I don't know if they offer different sizes. Kind of hope they do. Alright, back stitch this here. There we go. Yeah, that looks really nice, y'all. Silver is very pretty. It's like a nice metallic silver. All right, let me just trim this up. So one of the other things that we need to do tonight that I'm just remembering, and so it's not even on my to-do list, I also need to laser cut some secret cuffs. I'm very concerned. We noticed last week when we were cutting these out that there was some minor movement. There's some minor movement in the laser bed when we were cutting these paddles. So I haven't done what I need to do, and that is like I need to recalibrate, do a couple test prints of some stuff just to see, hey, do the belts need to be adjusted, etc. So I don't really want to laser cut or engrave someone's product, like something that someone ordered, without first taking care of that. Also, Zaris, hi. I am sitting up straight. I promise. I definitely was hunched, but I am sitting up straight now, and I can absolutely hydrate. So we are back in the Pizza Hut cup tonight. This looks like a soda. It is not. It is one of my, it's a like flavor enhancer for water, specifically a hydrating one, because it is hot as hell. Also, burb check. Do we have any new VIPs in chat today? Okay, let's pull our painter's tape off. I'm also really glad I figured out this kind of method here, because while it's tedious to pull tape off and clean it out, the final result means the leather doesn't get marred up, and that is ultimately the goal. I will take a little more tedium if it means that my final product looks good. Alright, pull some of this up here. Here we go. Zaris, how have you been? I hope you're doing well. Moody, I don't remember if I asked you when you first came in. How are you doing, too? If you're still hanging around. Okay. Zaris, thank you again for helping with the market this weekend.
John Cena wakes up in a hospital bed with no recollection as to how he got there. He looks around and spots a nurse nearby, so he asks her, "Where am I?" The nurse looks up from her clipboard and replies, "I see you." John Cena immediately says, "No, you can't."
Oh my gosh. That was a good one. John Cena is imperceptible. 41% burb. That's the highest so far of the stream tonight. I am so glad to hear it, Zaris. I had a lot of fun too. There's a lot of cool vendors at that event. I'm excited to do it again. Made some fun new vendor friends that I'm excited to see again, and hopefully booth next to them. I like that. The silver actually looks really good on this too. I probably won't do silver often on these, but I like it. You'd really love to keep helping out? Yeah, absolutely. Love to have you. I'll let you know on the next one in the area. The next one I know of that I'm signed up for and ready to go is on a Friday afternoon, though, so I think it might be a little hard to ask most anybody with a regular daytime job to help with. But the next one that we have on the weekend, I will for sure let you know. Ooh, 57% burb. Okay, so here is the piece we need to stitch. You're off work at 2:15. Okay, awesome. I will give you some details here in a little bit, okay? So let's see. I guess the first thing I want to do here, push this back a little bit. I want to kind of reestablish these lines that I made, which I actually need to swap out the head of this. There you are. Okay, let's go ahead for the moment. We'll zoom us back out here. All right, get these out. Make sure I've got the right one, which I believe is this one. Yep, that's right. A 25 stream streak. Holy smokes. If you get the if you get all the way up to 67, I'm gonna be very impressed. Because that's just a level of dedication that I can't fathom. And I really appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I already appreciate you being here for 25 streams. It's wild to think that I've been streaming at least 25 times. Alright, so we are just going to kind of reestablish these markings here. Go. We are. The same thing on the other side here. And we will get to stitching. There. And I'll eventually kind of go back through. I already did some burnishing here, but I'm not liking how this finish turned out. So I'll probably go back through and sand this again and get it burnished. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad the schedule works out well for that. Go ahead and just kind of mark along this end too, just so I have something to work with. There we go. So this is for a custom set of, or custom ball gag, actually. So I'm hoping this winds up turning out really nicely. I think, start here. We should make sure we are. Go. Push down. Oh, right. That's what I was going to do. Shoot. Okay. Go back. Mostly because I want to pull this stuff out. We have our hole here. I was going to do the exact same thing I did with the others. Was that someone from the market? No, it wasn't actually. This one came in about a week or two before the market. It was just didn't really have a chance to work on it on stream until now. And then haven't had a chance to really work on it because of the market as much. So we're just kind of playing catch up on some of my custom orders right now, at least for this piece. Okay, that's what I was looking to do. That will help keep this nice, keep it from marring our leather here. Yep, playing cat's up. It'll be fun when we finish cat's up and we move on to mustard. It's okay, I will see myself out now with that. All right. I am going to stand up here. This is going to get a little bit easier if I'm standing. And I can also, so I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and zoom you all back in. You can see a little better what we're doing. There we go. Zars, hopefully you're staying cool in this heat today. Because I'll be honest, this workroom is kind of sweltering. Kind of playing the game of how long can I go before I really need to call it for the night, because it's just hot. Not been too bad. That's good. That is good. Alright, the stitching is looking really nice on this. Holy smokes. So, I don't get these orders often because frankly I just don't have any spare... There we go. I don't have any spare silicone balls for the ball gags, but the custom, like the deluxe ball gag, is really nice. I usually go out of my way to stitch them up and really make them look good, and kind of avoid using hardware as much as possible and instead use thread where I can. So I'm excited to give this a go again and see how this one turns out, because the chocolate and silver thread looks really good. I will not overwork myself, I promise. I'm keeping close eye on how I'm feeling and how my temperature is doing. And I am also trying not to work too hard. Ooh, I actually like that angle. Now y'all can actually see the stitch on the backside, which might look a little bit nicer. There we go. Yeah, I like this angle a lot, actually. So it's one of those, like, I'm always looking for new angles for the camera. And for like the past month, I've been like, why can't I get good angles? I forgot that I can zoom in or zoom out my camera. Like, it's really pretty good at that. And as a result, I've been like putting the camera in my face while I'm trying to work, which is not helpful for me, but it's to try to get a good angle for y'all. And now I'm like, oh right, I can zoom in. so I can keep the camera at a good height and not have to completely ruin my own ability to see or to get close to a project to look at it. Had that revelation while painting boot charms. Right. I think it's good progress here. I think this is coming along nicely. I am dreading having to pick all of the painter's tape out of the underside of this. However, I think the final design is going to look really good. And while I don't think we will finish this project today, I know we will finish it this week. So we'll probably start stream on Wednesday working on finishing this. Hopefully getting the secret cuffs done. Tape removing is just the calming part. That's fair. That's a good way to look at it, Mini Golf. I appreciate that. And thank you, Zaris. I'm glad I'm glad it looked like I was doing well. Sometimes I feel like it's aggravating and I'm not doing great on it, but I will choose to believe y'all that it looked fine. Thank you. We have a few different projects to work on. One of the other ones that I'm hoping we can get to tonight, if it's not too hot. If not tonight, we'll work on it on Wednesday. So we have a couple more of these bite risk patches that I haven't finished. I never got to paint them or get them ready before market. And I'm hoping to add Velcro to the back of them to try that out as an adhesion option for people. Because right now I've got iron-on patches, I've got sew-on patches, but I realized with the pronoun patches that I make that it might actually be nice to be able to replace them. So I've got a sheet of Velcro to work with, and we will absolutely try stitching, probably hand stitching the round ones, since my sewing machine hates stitching in circles. But we will hand stitch the Velcro for the first time, and then for the rectangle pieces, like the pronoun pins, I will try to see if I can make the sewing machine work, because I think it could look really good. You have choice paralysis and what to have for dinner. Well, what are your options? What's for dinner at Casa de Zaris? Yep, just drop something. Here we go. All right, almost to the end of this side at least. Of a rotate here. There we go. Sandwiches, hot dogs, chicken sandwiches, canned tuna, or burgers. Aw. Well, I mean, obviously pick the one that you want. But of those, I'm kind of feeling chicken sandwich. that cannibalistic side of my bird self is saying, let's eat chicken. Here we go. I'm also really excited for the corset stream this week because I am actually using that to debut a new outfit for my PNG tour. So it should come out and look really nice. It's pretty much ready to go. I just haven't shared it with y'all yet. Just the frozen chicken patties, but air fried. Hey, I have rocked that so much. I definitely have done the chicken patty stuff. Zara's quick question: did that redeem your points, or did that return you your channel points? Because it should be a. I haven't fully finished that command. I need to add like a message to you if you're not a VIB. It didn't. Oh, dang it. Okay, it should refund them. I am so sorry about that. Here's what I'll do. I will play it manually because I want to show it off anyway. And then I need to keep working on that one. We love trying new things. 74% burb. All right, we're gonna try this for Zaris. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see. Let me do this. Oh, right. Okay. I need to do that. Let's see if I can get this going again. I really want to show y'all. That's why I'm like, let's do this. There we go. That worked. So there is a prediction running. Feel free to jump in and put a prediction in. What type of bird will I be? What am I channeling right now? You have a chance to make some of those channel points back if you guess correctly. Go. So this is the new VIP specific command. So it's just our scan, but it comes with a prediction so that we can do, safe, responsible gambling. I don't know. I just had this idea and thought it'd be fun. All right, got a couple seconds left. We're scanning. What are we gonna be? Oh, we are mostly Scrungly Seagull, and it should redeem that here in just a second. Fingers crossed. Not your Pointerinos. There it is. Scrungly Seagull was the winner. Everybody with Scrungly Seagull who might have voted should have gotten some points back. But yeah, that's how the new command works. I'm hoping to do some dumb, fun stuff with that. We'll see. I also thought today about potentially. So I found out, StreamerBot is a really powerful program for stream stuff. And I think there's a way I can get it to recognize my voice, and so I can do voice commands. So if I could get it to voice command, specifically for things like, I don't know, zooming in with my camera, oh, that would be so nice. Because then I wouldn't have to use the tablet, which I kind of have to reach all the way across the table to touch, since I don't have a Stream Deck yet. And that might be a fun way to do it, where I can be like, you know, Borb, zoom in, zoom, enhance. Alright, Zara, so you gonna lurk? Thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for lurking. But yeah, I just think voice chat would be, or voice commands would be a lot of fun. I'm also thinking about adding actual voice chat for our Discord members for certain streams, so that we can actually have multiple people chatting. I've seen that on a number of streams that I've been watching and participating in, and I think it's just a nice way to get the community involved. So we won't make that like every stream we do that, but every once in a while. Maybe if I'm really working on a push for a market or something, and I'm planning on streaming longer, I might have some friends be able to drop in and out, which I think would just help encourage me to keep going. Alright, we are about 3/4 done with stitching this piece here. And this silver thread looks so good on the chocolate leather that we have. Yeah, kind of a craft along. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. No need for people to craft, but just having people to chat with sometimes. Like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy chatting with chat, but sometimes it's just nice, especially if I'm focused on something. It's nice to have people to actually talk with. Plus, then we can start working towards one of my other goals, which is eventually to be able to do some community game nights. Stuff that I, probably weekends, so like Sundays, be able to do some fun friend slot games that I want to do. Gamble with your friends is one that I think of. Lethal Company being an older one, but things like that might be fun for a group party to play. Or a Jackbox game, stuff like that ultimately we could do without a Discord channel live, but might be extra fun with our community, with at least the members of our community that are interested in being on voice on stream. So it's a thought. It's stuff that I'm working towards. Right. I'm very curious to see how this turned out on the backside. It should turn out just fine. Like I said, this whole painter's tape thing is still new for me. It seems to be working well, but I want to see and make sure that the thread is still stitching as tightly as I want. I think it'll be fine. If it's not, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because I'd have to redo all of this. But I think it'll be okay. Go. Just a few more stitches. Go down to the end of this line, turn the corner. Be just about there. It's funny, I was thinking today about my leather crafting and like where we've come, like how I've grown and developed over the past kind of 2 years, both in skill set and in just practice and also confidence in what I do. I'm certainly still need to improve the confidence side of things sometimes, but I am still really pleased with the growth that I've gotten. both as a business, actually making this something that I can and want to continue doing, but also just doing, just like in the skill of like leather crafting. I'll show you all in a minute, but this weekend I found the first secret cuff I ever made, which is wild to think about. But it was the first one I made. It was kind of the prototype, the test piece. I originally made it at Victe's request, and this one was definitely not good enough to send to Victe at the time. You know, I couldn't send it to the cute girl that I was kind of interested in because it wasn't good enough. But now it's fun to have, so I kept it. And now it's fun to have and look back on because, you know, hey, I've grown. And we can compare it with, like, one of my more recent pieces. So we'll do that here in just a second. But I think y'all will have fun seeing that. And it's just a nice trip down, like, nostalgia, memory lane. Okay. First, that is gorgeous. I wish, so the camera really doesn't pick up the, like, shine of the silver thread. Maybe if I can get it to focus on me. It doesn't pick up the shine well enough, but it's very good. Okay, we're gonna try to pick this out, and then I'm gonna try to dig out my old, my first secret cuff. It should be in my pattern box, because that's usually where I keep it. A moment, go ahead and zoom back out here. We also need to finish these ends before I forget. Go. And just kind of a light burn there. Another one right there. Just to help kind of lock that in place. Now for this one, I kind of want to untangle some of this so it'll lay flatter. And I might have zoomed out prematurely, because I realize that you're probably going to want to be able to see what we have. Victe, you saying I'm gay? There we go. Add a quick burn down there. All right. Now, the moment of truth. Can I peel this off and still have it look as nice as this side? On your Twitch.television? Yep, it's more likely than you think, Mini Golf. It's more likely than you think. Alright, let's try. Go. Try to peel off these edges first. I want to get them as close as I can. That should help mitigate just how much of it gets caught under each thread. There we go. Victe, how are you doing? I hope you're staying cool down there. Hopefully it's much nicer than up here right now. Okay. So that's most of the outside. Now, let's see if we can't peel a portion of the inside here and get it all off in like a couple of pieces. That would be ideal. Okay, there we go. Fingers crossed, everybody. Or should I say every birdie? Fingers crossed, every birdie. Definitely is coming off decently well. Hey, work. Yeah, I get that, hun. I am sorry you have to deal with all of that. Before we clean off more, let's go ahead and kind of pull some of the excess little pieces off. Clean that up. There we go. And there's a few pieces under all of this. I think if I'm careful, I should be able to just kind of, yep, there we go. Just slide, either push them out like that, or pull them the other way. Just get it nice and cleaned up. There we go. There. That's looking good already. Everybody, make sure you're hydrating. Or grabbing snacks, doing whatever you need to do to take care of yourself. Like Nova said earlier, it was a hot, very hot day today. At least where we're at. There we go. Okay. Oh shoot, you know what I just realized I didn't do? I never went live on my personal profile on Blue Sky. That's a bummer. Finally getting rain here. It just leaves the humid. That's super fair. Let's see. Can I do that really fast? Watch Birdie forget how to use her phone. Switch this over. Oop, not needed. All right, go live. I really kind of wish it would just save my stream. twitch.tv/Sunbirdie special. Yeah, I wish the app would actually just save the link properly, but it does not. Okay, so that is there. Repost that. Okay, we are good to go. Also, it sounds like my music has just completely died. Man, we are going great. Finally getting rain. Yeah, humid. You know, like a 12. I would love a 12-hour rain day. I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I need more rain. I need all the rain. There we go. Okay, we are back. Just gonna keep pulling the majority of this tape off here. Can I get it? Oh, I almost got it all in one. See that nice long pull that I got there. Not quite all the way. Come on. The game is kind of becoming, how can I get under the painter's tape without like scratching up the surface of the leather in any way? We're mostly there. And I'm trying to be stay close to the threads themselves while I do it, which helps. You're between two Great Lakes. The rain is a tactical need. Yeah, that's fair. I remember living on the coast of Lake Michigan. That was, the humidity could get real rough sometimes. Alright. There we go. I'm just remembering I really need to get back to work on the harnesses. So I have some good designs at this point, some sketches that I put together. I've just been very hesitant to actually like pull the trigger on it, and I don't know why. I don't know what's kind of got my hesitation built up the way it is. Some of it I think is it's just because it's a new design. I think another bit is just because I have a number of people interested in a harness, like wanting me to finish designing and produce one so they can order it. But that is all. And that's lovely. I'm grateful that people want my stuff and would love to have a new product. But I'm also like, if I want to make something, I gotta make sure it turns out good. Like I have high standards for myself, which is good and bad. Good in that like I try to make sure I don't make anything that's, you know, low quality. Probably the lowest quality thing I tend to make with Bird Brain is the choker necklaces that we made, and that's because they were meant to be relatively like low effort, relatively cost effective, and even then I'm still like, hey, I want to improve these. I want to make sure that there's nothing wrong with them, that every bit holds well or doesn't come undone. And so when I think about a larger project like a harness, or, you know, God forbid this this corset I'm about to do, I'm just like, there's so many things that need to be both tried and then tweaked and adjusted to make it something, you know, to my level of making. And I think I'm just intimidated by myself and the effort that I know I'm gonna have to put in to make this work. Which is really dumb when I say it out loud. Right. There we go. Once we get these plucked and cleaned up, I still want to get out the old secret cuff because, like I said, I'm still proud of where I've come, but it's a great example of like looking at why I go back and iterate on things so much, because the early prototype was not great. It wasn't terrible, but it certainly just wasn't to my standard, even at that time. Okay. It's just the tiniest bit of blue up here that I just saw. Like even this, like taking this time to like go through and weed out every bit of tape. One of these days I will figure out an even better way to protect this leather from the foot of the sewing machine, or the bottom, like the feeder foot, if you will. I know they make nylon feet. I don't know if they make a nylon one for this machine. And I don't know if it'd be a nylon foot for the bottom, like feeder feet. I know they make them for the top, for the top foot, but yeah, I need to do a little research, because a nylon foot for the bottom would be really helpful. Because I still need it to grip, but I don't need it to like damage the leather. Leather can be very sensitive sometimes. Oh gosh. I don't know why I just thought of this. I also need to show you a pin that I got at the market, because it's really dumb and really cute, and it makes me laugh every time I see it. I will show that to you here in just a second as well. Once we finish this weeding and everything, I think the next thing we're actually going to switch gears and work on is going to be first, actually, we're going to do a quick dye test. I want to see how the turquoise dye looks, because I want to use it on our actual dragon scales tomorrow. Or Wednesday rather. So I need to test it on some scrap and make sure that, hey, does this look good? Is this what I want? But once we do that, we'll jump over to our D20, I think. Because I really need to finish getting that put together, or at least get all the holes punched and try to start assembling it. Alright, this is hyper tedious right now. Oh, thank you for the head pats. Also, you'll notice that I upgraded the head pats a little bit. I gave them noises, just pigeon noises. Mostly it's so that I can hear it and know when y'all redeem that reward. So I am not always looking at chat or at the screen, so I miss them. Ah, come on, we're almost done. You've got this. There we go. Aw, thank you, Mini Golf. I appreciate it. I do enjoy head pats. Okay, just one more piece here. There we go. All right, let's zoom that out here. So this is the back and the front. Honestly, pretty good and pretty interchangeable, which is what I'm going, which is what I was going for. It'd be nice to be able to speak. I think there's a couple things I want to do here. So you'll notice if I hold it up, there's a couple looser threads here. See them just sit a little bit proud of everything else. We're just going to try to pull those in a little bit without necessarily pulling everything up. Just kind of want to even them out. So yeah, just like that. I think that looks really good. I'm actually really pleased with that. I'm also really pleased with how my sewing has come along. I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that over just the past couple of months. Okay, yes. Old school secret cuff. And I've got a newer one to show you that I can compare, because it is a night and day difference. Just move some stuff over so I can get back into one of my boxes. There you are. Okay. Which do y'all want to see first? Do you want to see the one that I make currently? It's like kind of the current design, current layout, or do you want to see the original one? Okay, so this is a current one. This is what I currently make. So, works well, pretty smoothly, like, you know, it rotates nicely so you can swap it really easily. Everything works well, it's adjustable. The pieces all kind of just stay together nicely. I've got my logo engraved, and when it lays flat, you know, when I have it set up properly. One more hole, please. There we go. When I have it set up properly and when it lays flat, there's a gap between them, but you'll notice it matches the outside really nicely, so there's not like anything sticking out. And they lay really smoothly. Like, they still lay pretty flat, pretty comfortably. That is the current piece. That is what I make right now. This was version 1. So this was version 1. This was based exclusively off of a design that I was sent, where I was just sent pictures and trying to figure out how to make it. So you'll see some similar things. These buckles, this hardware, I actually still use. That's pretty good hardware. Still adjustable, which is something the photos that I originally had didn't have, and I wanted to make it adjustable. Still the same overall shape. However, when we lay them side by side, we can see the big differences. First, the difference in gap here is a little bit wider. The whole piece is wider than it needs to be. These aren't lined up, not with each other. And then when I try to rotate, this has a lot more tension, so that when you're trying to convert it, it just doesn't sit as well. It doesn't rotate as nicely. So that's the finish on the cuff style. The other thing is that the snaps I used on the old version are less sturdy. They actually don't lock as well, so you can snap out of it more easily. Well, yeah, that's the difference between, you know, the first version I actually made versus what I currently make now. Yeah, it's very cool progress. I am very, very pleased with the results. And so I keep this piece specifically for reminding myself of, like, oh, I've gotten better. And I'm, like, happy about that. Like, it looks good. It, you know, I am improving. And I want to continue to improve. That is a great question. The hard fact here is that I would have to get biothane that is this wide in order to make some, which means I'd need to make another order of biothane, which I could do. But let's see how wide this piece is. This is about 2 and we'll be pretty generous. We'll say it's about 2 3/4. They do make biothane that wide. In fact, I'm gonna pull up the company I order from, because they do make it. However, I don't think they make it in a 3/4. Yeah, so the company I order from, the largest size width-wise goes is 1.5 inches. And as a result, I probably couldn't make these. I don't think you can. We're gonna order. We've ordered some, so we're gonna find out. I will absolutely test it. However, the nature of what it is made of, I'm gonna have to vent it really well, probably more so than my regular stuff, because it's like a plastic material, or it has a plastic coating on it. And then, yeah, they don't breathe at all. And then if we're gonna try to laser cut, because I want to see if I can engrave on it, just out of curiosity. But even so, I can't get biothane that is wide enough for one of these cuffs. Also, look at that. Those edges are raw. I'm so sad about that. Comparatively, you can at least see a bit of a shine on these. I don't think I can make these out of biothane, but mini golf, I think I could make my infinity cuff. So the infinity cuff, which is like our secret cuff, I think I could physically make out of biothane. I will attempt it, and I will let you know. Interesting. So using a webbing in 2 different materials. Yeah, it's probably possible. It's a matter of would it look and feel good. That'd be my main concern. I'd be willing to try it. Absolutely willing to try new things. But my gut instinct is telling me that it would either not feel comfortable, or when it's put together, it won't look as nice as being one material. Because then webbing is going to be naturally a fair bit thinner, and I would just be hesitant to see how. I'd be curious to see how it turns out, but I'd be hesitant to just say it's going to work perfectly. Yeah, and the textures could be very jarringly different, which may not be a bad thing, but until we try, we'll never know. Okay, where was I at? I was working on the next piece of this. So, was I working on the next piece of this? Or was I going to go to the D20? I kind of want to get this done since I already have the sewing machine out, so I think we're going to go for that. I did say D20. I am going to go back on what I said, because this stitch should not take super long. That's the hope anyway. So we're gonna, yeah. Yes, do I want to do that? So when I put this together, the stitch I need to do is basically just stitching that piece here. So between all of this, but I have to put the hardware in first. So do I want to do that? I don't think I do. I think I actually want to burnish this edge first. I think that's going to be the better bet. In which case, that means that we are going to do what we said originally, and we are going to move to the D20 because I need to work on that, and this piece is going to take a little more thought and effort than I think my brain is physically capable of right now. Okay. Got that out of the way. Move some of our stuff over. Oh yeah, we were gonna dye a test piece of leather first. That's what we were gonna do. It's like, I know we were gonna do the what you call it? I knew we were gonna do the D20. I wasn't sure. I felt like I had something else that we were doing too. And that's what it is. We are gonna dye some leather to see how a couple different materials are working. This is kind of a little exploratory, trying to figure out how this is going to respond and react. So we have a couple different antiquers, or antique finishes. We have my turquoise leather dye, which I'm excited to use. And where's my last bit? Antique finishes, turquoise leather dye. Where's my bottle of resist? It might still be downstairs. We don't need it right away because we have to let the leather dry first anyway. So we're going to focus first and foremost on just getting this dyed up. You've got your Gmail cleared out to the beginning of this year. Oh, hell yeah. Good job. I know how tedious that can be. Also, hi, Star. Hope you're doing well. Star, did you see the finished
Hugh and Birdie, Birdie, oh have you Hewed of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, Sparkles emoji, 2 hearts emoji, with an expanded free trial which you can pay with the entirety of the main duo and the award-winning Shadowbring's expansion up to level 85 free with no restrictions on wait time you will greater than W less than it's so good Naya, romantic face emoji.
Victor, that must have taken you forever. That turned out so good. I don't know what it is about my TTS, but it actually likes the Google voice sometimes. It doesn't like the less than and W faces. We were in another stream earlier this week, or this past week, and we kind of uwu-fied a lot of our TTS, so I'm not surprised Victe is now turning it on me. Okay. Star, I was asking if you'd seen the almost finished paddle key fobs, which look really cute. There's that one, and then there's one that actually has the full cutout. Oh, hell yeah! Thank you for hanging out and lurking. Really appreciate it. Alright, I'm just gonna do this real fast, largely because this is kind of what we're doing with our dragon scales. I might even stamp this a little bit, so I'm gonna go wet this down. We're gonna stamp it a few times, not a whole bunch. But I want it stamped enough that I know how the leather is going to react and how the dye is going to react. So we are going to do this. I might actually go run and grab my resist here in a minute. We'll see. Because the resist is actually going to keep certain areas from actually taking any sort of dye or antique. I'm very curious to see what that looks like and how I might be able to use it. So we'll do a little testing here. first and foremost, let's just try getting a good dye on here. We'll just go all the way down for this one. We can always use more of the strap later for anything else. Nice coat on both sides so we can see how it looks. What a pretty blue. I like this so far. We'll see if it actually dries into a nice turquoise, but as a color itself, it looks really nice. See if I can hold that up a little bit better. Yeah, it could look really, really pretty. So we're gonna let that dry for a little bit. Probably just set it to the side for now, and come back to it at a later point. So I was like totally fine with going on this little side quest here because I knew it wouldn't take too long, and I need to get it done if I want to do this on Wednesday, the actual thing. So set these all aside for now, and we will start working on the D20, which is definitely overdue. You have to send me the chicken recipe you're having. Literally 3. Oh, please do. Please send that to me. Easy recipes right now are the best. I could really use an easy recipe. I need to be better about cooking again. I have just not been motivated for a while. Okay. That. Go ahead and just zoom in there. There we go. Yeah, that should work for now. Make sure you're hydrating. Okay. Let's get our D20 back out. So what we need to do first is what I've done here, and that is we just need to punch our holes. I've done it with one, and now we just need to go through and do it with all of the rest. Also, I made a terrible, horrible mistake in going out to wet that leather because I felt how much cooler it is in the rest of the house, and I am sad now. It is very, very warm in here. Okay. There we go. Just gonna kind of work our way around. So this should be like 4.5 sets of these 4, if I'm remembering correctly. Yep. Put us right in the corner there where we want it. Should be the mean that we have the same amount on every side as well, which is what we want. There. Two, 3, and 4. 3. That was 3, wasn't it? Yes. There's 4. And roughly right there. Go. And we only have to do this 18 more times. Yay, easy stuff. It'll be worth it when it's done, but it is one of those like tedious projects right now. It also doesn't help that I chose a really, really like soft leather for this. I almost always choose this purple because I have just a ton of it. But this leather is exceptionally soft, which means it can be a pain in the butt to work with. And I'm curious how readily it's going to deform once we get it fully put together. It would not surprise me at all if it's just kind of a mess. But this is why we're prototyping with this leather. Because if I can make it with this leather, I can make it with regular veg tan leather. And I can make it thicker. And it'll hold its shape nicely. And then we can start playing the game of how do we turn this into a dice holder, which I think is the ultimate goal for this. For now, I just want to try to get it mostly put together. And then we will work on actually problem solving the dice bag portion of it. I think if I'm smart, for future iterations of this, I think I will cut the stitch holes with the laser. I think that would just make a lot more sense here. Save a lot of time on this process. And then it would just be hand stitching, which takes time, but far less so when the holes are already pre-punched. There we go. Here we are. Burb check. Do we have any burbs in chat? %, and 84%. Oh, nice. We're getting closer. Go. Wait. Here we are. Got some good percentage burbs here. Still not the coveted 100%, but we'll get there. Okay. Go. There we are. We've got 4 of them done. Only like 16 more to go. We can do this. I believe in this. Thank you so much. I just got the text. Also, other fun thing I got from the market. I got a really cute, pin that's super fun and super unhinged. So this pin I got and ended up getting it as a trade, and I love it so much. It's so dumb. I love markets. They're great. Go. There we are. Okay. Around the next edge here. Two. And 3. 4. 5. Around. I'll be honest, there's a solidly real chance that I am putting the incorrect number of holes into these. But I've already gone. We're already going. So I am just rolling with it. Every triangle is the same shape. They're all equilateral. And the hole punch is the same. And the lines, the markings that I made around the edges, so these lighter purple lines, are all the same exact width and the same exact length and the same exact distance from the edge as everything else. So theoretically, these should all line up and the stitch holes should all line up. There is a solid chance they will not. It happens. And we will get to play with that problem when it occurs. But I think I have a workaround for that, should it happen. So I'm hopeful there at least. The she-her holes, if you will. Yeah. They're she-her hole. That's what we're punching right now. The she-her hole. Mini golf gets it. There we go. I feel like it's just getting hotter in this room, and I don't know how. The sun should be going down. It's not directly on our house at this point anymore. I have a fan going to vent the space, to at least pull out hot air. So I don't know why it's feeling hotter in here, but it certainly is. So I'm not sure how much longer we're gonna go tonight because of that. I'm gonna try to at least get these punched just because I need them done. Just so we can actually finish this. Because this has been a project that's, weeks and weeks in the making. But But I think it's very possible that once I get through the last triangle here, I may need to retreat down to the cooler temperatures. I will let you know before we do that. Right now, we are still going okay. Okay. You know, something I really need to do now. I don't show it on stream because it's big, it's bulky and unwieldy. But I have a big toolbox that houses a bunch of like my older hardware and things that just don't fit on this desk. A lot of times when you hear me rummaging around looking for something, chances are I'm checking that toolbox. And the pin reminded me that I also really enjoy putting stickers on it. I treat it like any good workspace toolbox, in that you sticker the hell out of it. And the pin reminded me, like, I need to put more stickers on it. But I also would love to be able to put stickers somewhere that y'all can check. So I think that would be really fun. I just need to find a good spot for it, you know? Because I don't want to do it on my work surface. I kind of need that. But there's not a lot of other places that you would see regularly. So I don't know. Chat, if you have any ideas. Because if that's the case, I would love to start adding a bunch of wild stickers that I find. Maybe even make it so that I can put down subscribers' names or other sort of thank you stuff. You missed that? I'm thinking about just things that I can do for the stream. I have a toolbox that has a bunch of stickers on it. Unfortunately, it's big and bulky, and so it will never really show up on this table. And I'm trying to think of ways that, like, I would love to show off stickers and, you know, do some stuff that, like, y'all could see. And I can't put it on the workbench because this grid pattern I need and use, and the surface of the workbench is really important for a lot of my tools as well. So I don't want to be cutting into stickers and things like that. But I'm trying to think of some alternatives that might be really fun. And I have a couple of ideas, but I'm curious to hear what suggestions y'all might have. One of them that I have thought about is just doing it on a poster board and maybe hanging that poster board up. I have been needing to make a scene. I can put them on. I'm not putting my sewing machine so pretty though. I don't want to cover it up. I love the black and gold like filigree on it. Plus, it's not that big of a sewing machine. I feel like it would be filled up very quickly. I love where the head's at. I love that idea as a whole. I just don't want to do it to that particular machine. So what I was getting at is possibly doing it as a poster board on the wall, and then making sure I can get a camera angle that shows that poster board, because I still need to make like a just chatting scene in OBS. So something where we can just like chat, hang out, you know, pre-stream or as the stream is starting. That's not just the starting soon option. And I need a background for that, so I could do that. That might be something worth trying. The other thought I briefly had is putting him in the on the walls inside the laser enclosure. Obviously high up, nowhere near where that laser is actually going to be. But my hesitation, of course, is that I don't want to I don't want to put anything extra in there that might become a fire hazard. And I think that would be. So I don't think we're doing that, even though it would be a great spot for it. Because it's mostly just reflective wall, and it's well lit, and the camera's already mostly trained on it. So that's why I thought about it. But don't worry, I don't think I'm doing that. Like, I could see designing something that maybe sits over top this workbench when I'm not using it. That way cameras could see it. So again, start a stream kind of thing before we actually get started. The problem is that means that my workbench has to be cleaned off all the time. And I'm not sure I personally can commit to that. In that same vein, though, one of the other ideas I've had that I believe it is a good way to keep myself cleaning it regularly. You're right about that, and maybe that is like reason enough to try it. We'll see. It's certainly an option. One of the other ideas I've had for stream that is actually mostly suggestions from a few of y'all is actually setting up a Patreon. Now, the problem I've always had with Patreon is just I don't ever feel like I make enough, or I would create enough to make it worthwhile for like monthly subscription to Patreon or something. That said, I did have someone suggest, I believe Victe suggested it, I think Star, you may have suggested it as well, where we could use Patreon to create like a monthly patch club. So, you know, I don't know what tier level I'd do. It would probably be, you know, enough to pay for me to make patches, but for any of the subscribers to that Patreon tier, I could actually send them a new patch design every single month. It would get me to continue making patches and doing designs. And then it would also be a good way for people to be able to support and get something more tangible out of it. Don't know if that's a good option yet. I can certainly make those patches. I think that could be a lot of fun. We'd probably start with some of the pre-made ones that we've already done, like my bite wrist that I just created. But it might be fun to create some new designs and send them out, and use it as a sounding board for the greater public to see what they think about some of the designs, which is also helpful. So I see a lot of value in that. I just don't know if there'd be enough people interested in actually making, you know, in me actually making that happen. We could do the same thing with like a different tier, but for boot charms. Which might also be fun. The patches is also another reason why I'm also thinking of trying to see if I can reliably make Velcro back patches. Because if so, then that makes them, you know, swappable. So it would be more value to joining a patch club of some kind. Because then every month you could swap out a patch and get something new. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. All right, we're breaking out the Dr. Pepper right now. I need some caffeine to focus. We have how many more? 4, 5, 6. I lost count. 6. 9, we have 10 more. 10 more, we are halfway there. So we're just gonna keep chugging along. once we get these holes punched, we'll take a brief detour and see how the turquoise dye is coming along on the test piece. In this heat, I imagine it will be mostly dry. I don't know if we'll go any further than that tonight because the heat is bad, but we'll at least check, see how it looks, and if I'm feeling it, like I can go a little bit further, we might try stitching a couple of these D20 sides together to see how they look. Partially because I want to see the stitch pattern that I want to use and see if it looks good. I think it will, but this is why we test stuff. But yeah, about the Patch Club, I'll make some posts about it and get a rough idea of what people are kind of feeling. So you'll see it on Discord. Might make it on social media as well, and just see if there's general interest. Same with the boot charm stuff. And if there is, we might make it happen. If there's not, it's always an idea I can hold on to for later. Go. Also potentially be a good way for people to support who maybe don't want to subscribe to Twitch, or potentially just don't watch Twitch. I know a lot of people that I interact with aren't Twitch users, so it just might be another good option that way. We'll see. Speaking of my Discord, if you haven't joined, please do, or at least give it a thought. I would love to see it grow as a community. It's still very sleepy, very quiet. I'm admittedly bad at checking it, especially on market weekends like last weekend. But the people there are all lovely. Every one of y'all are lovely critters. And I would love to kind of just turn it into a hub. Not just like stream stuff, but, you know, share recipes and talk about art and things that you love. I can set up games and game nights. Or I can set up the Discord voice chat so we can have a few more people on stream sometime. There's always good options. I know people that aren't Twitchy. I know a few people that aren't Twitchy. I'm certainly not one of them. Alright. Part of me really wants to paint this. The other part of me knows that A, I can paint it later if I really want to, even after I've stitched it up. And B, I don't want to paint it just for it to not come together, since I'm kind of just using this as a test piece. So, we are not going to paint this one right now. If it really turns out great, I will go back and paint it and seal it after we've assembled. Star, I said I'm pretty twitchy. I said I'm not one of the, or I said, I guess maybe I misspoke. I meant to say I'm certainly a twitchy person. But I do know some people that aren't twitchy. I have that like restless leg. I shake my leg all the time when I'm just sitting. It's that lovely anxiety. Latigo, sure. I would be happy to hear any suggestions you got. Nice. Birds do tend to be pretty twitchy. Void yells. The Void does like to yell, that is true. Yeah, that goes for everybody. If you have suggestions or anything, whether they be about streaming, about leatherwork, or anything along those lines, feel free to share. I have reasons that I do things the way I do. However, I am not always married to those reasons, nor am I committed to only ever doing things the exact same way. Sometimes it's the only way that I can do for some reason or another. Sometimes it's the best way to do it for a specific situation. Other times it's just because I don't know a better way. So feel free to offer suggestions. Just be polite about it. That's my only request. I am always looking to improve. And sharing of knowledge is a great way to do that. So use a round awl like the scratch awl to punch the corners. It lets the stitches hinge. They come into the corner on the slant or weave on the slant. Almost no one will know what you did, but people can see the difference. Okay. I've seen that actually. I've seen a few Instagram reels because, you know, fortunately I'm still on there sometimes. I've seen a few reels of leatherworkers and I've seen them do that, and that is actually a really good point. I probably won't do it for this project right here, just because I'm over halfway done stitching these, and I think just doing it on a few may result in a weird look. However, I wonder, Latigo, do you think, could I go back through with my awl here and round out what's already been punched? Do you think that would work, or have at least somewhat of a similar effect? Because I'd be willing to go back through the punches that I've made and do that, if you think it would work. My concern is just that when they're punched diamond like this, or punched on the slant, as you said, I don't know if the awl is going to round them out post hole punch. But I'm absolutely willing to give it a try and see what the difference looks like. I've admittedly, like I said, I've seen it before, and I've always kind of wondered what actually it does. So I'm definitely open to giving it a shot. It's going to stretch. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I figured it might stretch it into weird shapes. Okay, so maybe not for this piece then. Just to keep it a little more uniform. However, I will take that suggestion and do it for a future piece. I've got a few pieces coming up that I actually know where that would be situated well for. Yeah. that is fair. I'm already a little worried about the corners. Like I said, this is more of a test for proof of concept. If it turns out great, awesome. If we put it together and we see tearing or corner issues, we'll deal with it. But this will probably wind up staying in my personal collection as part of my prototypes. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. I have not been super good about avoiding double punching. Usually I am more careful on that. I admittedly have not been today. Yeah, especially this close to a corner. Thank you for the suggestions, though. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll use them. I'll give it a try on the next piece that I do. Which will probably wind up being another one of these dice. Once I kind of know the rough layout and how I want to do it, I'm going to re-engrave these or recut these in a I'm going to recut these in a stiffer leather, which actually should work a lot better than this pretty soft stuff that I'm using right now. There we go. Actually, the next place I will be able to use it will be on Thursday. So I will try to keep that in mind. If you wind up in stream on Thursday, Latigo, feel free to remind me. We will be working on my corset, which is a much thicker, much stiffer cut of leather. But I will absolutely be punching holes for that. Because I don't know if my sewing machine will actually be able to handle that thick of leather. So we will probably wind up doing this by hand, which means it'll be a perfect spot to do to make sure I do rounded corners and avoid double punching holes. Go. I heard somebody stomping around your leaves. It was your buddy Tyler, the neighbor's cat. Aw. Tell Tyler tell Tyler that I say hi, and hopefully chat says hi too. Go. All right, 3 more of these to do. Just a little mark there. Put that back. Yeah, once we get all these punched out, we'll check and see how our turquoise dye is handling. then chances are we will start wrapping up for the night early, mostly because it's just so hot in this room right now. And as much as I want to keep working on this, I joke about being a sweatshop, but I don't want to actually be a sweatshop tonight. I can hold that off for when I'm in crunch mode before a market. Oh no, the room is hot. You could probably do a bird scan. I'd be a scrungly seagull right now. I am gross. I'm about as gross as it comes at this moment. It's so hot. And it is not me. But yeah. Before we go, I will also show y'all how the you cannot scan. Oh no! You lost all of your money gambling. Mini golf. How much did you bet? Holy smokes! That's so much! Here. You know what? Let's see here. Can I do this? I am going to... Let's see. Go big or go home, baby. Big day. Okay, we are going to... Let's see here. Just gonna try that. Is that gonna work for me? Use fake dollar dues. Yes, channel points. Let's see. There we go. Scanning prediction has commenced. Feel free to do responsible gambling. Let's see how scrungly seagull I am. I will work on finishing the last couple of these while we do it. I feel like I need to add a sound effect to the start of the prediction that's just like a slot machine. This is all random chance. There is absolutely no skill involved with this. The only time you've ever gambled was using a government website. That's fascinating. Oh, we're being scanned. Oh, okay. I'm less scrungly seagull than I thought. That's not gambling, it's called... That's the truth. Well, whoever got paid out Hope you got some good stuff. I have no idea who participated. You're guaranteed to lose. I mean, honestly, that was my taxes this year. Running a sole proprietorship meant I got taxed so hard. Let's see here. Okay, one more piece here. Just got to do the 3, and then we are good to go. Ontario is really weird. It's really restrictive on gambling, alcohol, tobacco, and combat sports. Interesting. Honestly, we could probably stand to be a little more restrictive on it ourselves. After seeing what Victe's job and customers are like, definitely could be a little more restrictive. Your $20 became $200 that you lost over 2 weeks. That's fair. Gambling is one of those things, like, it doesn't interest me all that much. Not like real gambling. For haha funny fake points, like we do on here, I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. For competitions like playing Mario Kart or stuff between friends, happy to do it. I don't care too much about real money gambling. That said, I feel like if I were to gamble, like if I decided to go to Vegas, which I have no plans on at the moment, just because of money and travel, if I decided to go to Vegas, I would probably just set aside $100, something like that. Whatever I could afford, set aside 100. I would play it. If I lost it, that's it. Done. I have no interest in doing anything further. If I make more, cool. I make a little bit more, but I never play beyond losing that $100. That'd be how I'd probably work it myself. Okay, so that's done. We got the holes punched there. Fingers crossed when we stitch them, those corners won't rip, but we'll find out. That'll be something we will work on later. For now, though, let's take a look. Our teal is starting to dry. It's a little bit darker than I thought it would be, but it's not bad. I kind of want to try, I'm going to do a little bit more over here. Mostly because I want to see how it responds to soaking in dry leather versus wet. Sometimes, so like we wet down the first bit, and sometimes I've noticed that you'll get different soaks or different colors or shades based on that. So we're just going to see. I'm going to try to do a little bit lighter amount as well. This will be something we kind of come back to and check on Wednesday. Do the same on the back side here. So again, I'm just trying to test and see how this is going to look so that I can use it on an actual project here later this week. Take my pen here. I'm just going to give a little mark so I know that that's the line where we went from wet to dry. And we'll see how it actually affects the stain. But we're going to give it a good time, like a good overnight to dry, because it is kind of hot and humid enough that I don't think it's going to dry anytime sooner than that. But once we're there, this is what the teal is probably going to go on. So these are the collar cuff set, the dragon collar cuff set that we worked on. Got the tooling done for that. I want to get some dyeing done so that we can start to assemble these, have them ready by mid-August. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Should turn out really good. For now, though, I think I'm going to call it here. We've been going 3 hours, so we're a little bit shorter than usual today. We got some good stuff done, though. I'm still really pleased with how the stitch worked on this. I think that chocolate and in silver looks really good. And then we got these little key fobs stitched out, which is nice. So we got stuff done. I also cleaned up my entire desk, which is really important. I needed to do that. So I feel better about that. Life feels a little bit more in place. And now we're going to find someone to raid out. I am going to go sit in front of a fan. Going to go just probably plop in front of it and sit there for a little while. But let's see who to raid. Again, you don't need to stick around for the raid. I'd love it if you did. Just at least hang out for a few minutes, say hi to the person that we raid, see what's going on, and then feel free to migrate out. We just want to be polite and want to, help network and bring people to new channels. Let's see who's crafting today. Is there anyone I'm following that I haven't raided in a while? Let's see. There's a bunch of games going on. Is there a new crafter, though, that I don't know about? Maybe someone we haven't checked out yet. We are early enough. Usually we go late enough that it's hard to find other crafters on. But we might actually be able to find some people. Let's see here. There's some good stuff. If y'all have any suggestions or know of anybody, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna pick one here in just a minute. Nope. Let's see. We have one other friend who streams Mondays. He's off tonight. That's fair. Yeah, it is a Monday. I get it. Let's see if we can't find someone new here, I think. Maybe there's someone doing maybe some art fight stuff, which could be good. Let's see. Not a whole lot going on. All my other fellow leather workers also all work during the day, or like stream during the day, so there's never another leather worker to find. I think let's see here. Well, shoot. We're just gonna find a maker or crafter and go from there. Okay, we got some fiber arts here that could be nice. I think we will do, I haven't seen this person before, but the tags are good. Another friendly queer person, also doing a charity event, so for a fundraising. So let's see, unless I see anything else, which I really don't. Okay, wait, never mind. Someone's making polymer fake food, and it looks like they're making fried eggs right now. I think we're gonna do that. We're just gonna give that a shot. Might be fun. So let's give that a go. And get that started. Thank you, everybody. Hang out again for a little bit if you can. Otherwise, thank you for hanging out tonight. I'll be back on Wednesday. We'll be doing some more leather work. And then Thursday is our corset stream, which should be a lot of fun. But yeah, thanks everybody. Have a good night.